We are live. What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, and I am back with another Player Prop Talk live stream here on the channel. Today's Wednesday, July 31st, 2024. As always, I hope this finds you doing well and in good spirits. Last day of the month. Good Lord, I'm ready for a new month. It's been a bad player prop month. Tough month. Hope your July has been a lot better than mine. Hoping for a new month that brings in new profits. But no matter what, hashtag blessed. As always, we start off the stream with this stat. 10% of the US population will die in their sleep or just not wake up. I don't know how they die. They just don't wake up. So consider yourself blessed if you have arisen today. Hashtag blessed. Worst things in life. There are worse things in life than not being profitable with your player props. First world problem, no doubt, but a problem I would like to solve starting today, really. What could be better than waking up? Playing on better, using my QR code to get a first time deposit match up to 250. I do get something from this. I get some better bucks deposited into my account. I don't get cash, but I get better bucks, which is just their version of currency. I can't take those better bucks out of my account and go buy something with them. They're only usable on better. So it is basically monopoly money that can only be used on better. So I do get something from it, but you get more from it. 100% deposit match up to 250. So if you put in 250, do the math, you'll get 250 matched. If you put in 100, you get 100 matched. Just basically doubles your deposit. Half of it will be cash, half of it will be better bucks. Still gives you more opportunity to hit and more opportunity to build slips. Nothing wrong with that. Today, we're going to be using the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer to help us find value across 3, 4, 5, however many pick'em sites you want. But that's my promo code right there on the screen. Use that promo code, get 30% off your first month over on OddsJam. And we'll also be using props.cash to dig into some value. If we like it, we want to dig into it, see what it's all about. Thanks 25 is my promo code on props.cash. Gets you 25% off your first month. We're going to head on over to the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer. We're not wasting any time today. I want to get right to some of these picks. The past couple of days have been a little dismal in terms of the value that's available. We have not been able to build a ton of slips. We have not been able to dig into a ton of value. I'm hoping that Wednesday changes that for us. Hope we can find some more plays to work with today. What's going on, JR? Top of the morning to you. We need that profit today. I need that profit today. I hope you guys are doing better than I am. It's been a rough month, I'm not gonna lie. April, May, June were great months. On top of the world. July, feeling like I was gonna reference the Titanic movie, but that was long time ago. I don't know if anybody's even seen that damn movie, but the scene where Leonardo DiCaprio is, I'm king of the world. He's on the edge of the boat. Well, I feel like that, but I fell off the boat. Like after saying that, then I fall over. That's been July for me, falling off the fucking boat. Here we are on the PrizePicks tab on the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer. Just gonna take a quick stroll through and see what's available to us. First pick off the top here is Framber Valdez under his fantasy score. Framber's having a tough season. As a Houston Astros fan, as a native Houstonian, Framber, man, not really looking like Framber of of years past. That's for sure. Struggling a little bit. I don't know if he's injured. I don't know if he's tipping pitches. I don't know what's going on, but strikeouts are down a little bit, and there have been some games where he's just gotten blown up. Blue Whites, CS2 over 15 first 2 map headshots. Logan Webb under his fantasy score right there, 36. Laser over first map headshots at 6.5. Shohei Ohtani under fantasy score. You know my take on Shohei. It's really, really hard for me to take the unders on some of these fantasy scores, especially some of these elite players like Shohei Ohtani, who can really, really change the outcome of a game in one swing. He can literally be at 0 fantasy points, go into the bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, 2 strikes, and hit a home run. It can really come down to the very last swing of the game for him. So it's not over until it's over. It's scary taking the under on him, but it is popping for the under on the PrizePicks tab here. Couple of esports plays that are giving us multiple data points. Destiny over first 2 map headshots, and this Rittenzow over 14 first 2 map headshots. Xavier Edwards, probably the hottest player in the MLB right now, but the under on his fantasy score is what's popping. Only 1 data point, so that one is not as intriguing to me. Probably going to stay away from that one. I'd like to see a little bit more support. Couple data points here for Vladdy. 6.9 hitter fantasy score across 2 different sites. PrizePicks has him at 8. So those are your top plays over on PrizePicks today. We do have enough to build out a slip using those plays. Of course, you can just take what you want and add your own plays in, build a slip however you want to build it. What's going on? Health and benefits. What's up? Top of the morning, got my coffee ready to find value. Man, I'm already coffeeed up today. Got my coffee early today. What's up, Big Icy? Grand rising to you. All right, on underdog, this is what we got. Typically, you're going to see way more value available on underdog. I mean, look at all those green squares. All these plays have a minimum of 2 data points, so they are playable, in my opinion. Sometimes the hardest thing is choosing who you want to put in a slip. That's why it is encouraged with plus EV betting that you play multiple slips. Play as many of these plays as you can. Also, when you have this many plays that are available, it's really not necessary to repeat the plays. You don't have to keep putting the same plays in a slip. There's so much value on underdog right now. You can build out multiple slips with totally different props. So let's trek our way back up and let's just see what we got here. Royce Lewis under 2 hits, runs, and RBIs. That one's popping. We got Logan Webb on underdog at 35.5. We saw him on PrizePicks. We're getting him on underdog. That's 2 different pick'em sites that have the under on his fantasy score. It could be worth a look. It's not by accident he's on multiple sites for the under. We have a tennis prop here. We have Campan Ali versus Botic Van de Zajup. Under 20.5 total games. A lot of data points here. That's a good tennis prop. You want to throw that in a slip? I already did. Keys over first 2 map kills, 26.5. Let's skip that one. Let's take a look at this. Dylan Cease over 40 pitcher fantasy score, 40.5. 2 books have the over 42 and 43. So basically what that's telling you is underdog has it propped too low. Urban Zero under first 2 map kills up 33. This game starts at noon. You're getting 2 data points, both of them at 31.5. That's showing you that underdog has it way too high. Hitter fantasy score for Cody Bellinger over 6. I know we pick a lot of unders on my stream. I don't go out of my way to pick unders. I don't have a love for unders. I play what is valuable. So if you are an over person, then you are liking what you're seeing so far, because we got a lot of overs over Cody Bellinger right here. 6 fantasy score seems a little too low. We haven't even researched this one. This one feels too low. Over Chris Sale pitcher fantasy score. We're usually seeing unders on fantasy scores for pitchers. Now we're getting Dylan Cease and Chris Sale both over their pitcher fantasy score. For Chris Sale, they got him at 41.6 on Bovada and DraftKings. Underdog has him at 39.5. So you can see the difference here. You can see why it's valuable, because there is a nice discrepancy in the market. Over Nico Horner, 6.5 hitter fantasy score. So a lot of overs here. This list goes on and on and on and on. It's the song that never ends. Let's take a look at better. And then we'll swing back to PrizePicks and see if we can build out a quick slip, and see if we can maybe build out a quick slip on underdog too. What's up, Paris Black? Been a while since I caught a live stream. Been a while since I've been on live stream. It's not you, it was me. Got back on live streams maybe a couple weeks ago. So you weren't seeing them because they weren't out there. Now they're out there. So appreciate you being here this morning. All right. So on better, the chances to hit are always going to be a little low. With these guys, it's just baseball on better. They don't have NBA right now, obviously. They don't have Olympic basketball right now. There's no WNBA. It's just baseball. No esports on better. Better is a little limited in terms of what they provide as far as sports. The payouts are very strong. The promos are very strong. I like to believe that Jake Paul at some point will add more to his app here, but when it's just one sport, it's really easy. It's really easy, you know, for these plays not to have positive EV attached to all of them. But this is what we got so far. Over hits, runs, and RBIs for Jorge Polanco. We want to look for multiple data points. We want 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 data points. We're getting 5 on this one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 data points on this Eddie Rosario over 0.5 hits. Bobby Witt over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. His prop was on PrizePicks and underdog this morning at 2. It's been bumped up to 2.5. Well, 2 total bases. His hits, runs, and RBIs at 2.5. You do get more options and more flexibility with his hits, runs, and RBIs. It is a higher number, but for both total bases and hits, runs, and RBIs, he basically needs 3. 2 doesn't get it done for the total bases. If it's propped at 2, he needs 3. 2 gets you a push. So he needs 3. So it's possible he gets you 3 hits, runs, and RBIs and 3 total bases. Clayton Kershaw under 1.5 walks. Randall Grichuk over his 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Yeah, we're digging here down to Taj Bradley over 6.5 strikeouts versus Miami. Grayson Rodriguez under 2.5 earned runs. Toronto not looking good. If Grayson Rodriguez is projected to go under 2.5 earned runs, that's not a lot of firepower today from the bats on the Toronto side. So if he's not going to get blown up based off of this, and could possibly look to his fantasy score and see what that looks like. Cortez under 5.5 strikeouts. A lot of data points. Almost every single book has action on this play. BetMGM really likes this one. I don't want to dip below 53. So we only have a couple more plays left. Matt Chapman over, Perez over runs and bases. Perez over runs and bases. I don't know what his hits, runs, and RBI line is on other pick'em sites, but that is 2 right there. To go over 1.5 bases, you need 2. To go over 0.5 runs, you need 1. That's a total of 3 hits, runs, and RBIs. I mean, it's possible for him to hit a double and get this. But if it's his hits, runs, and RBIs is at 1.5, there you go. That's telling you that he's going over hits, runs, and RBIs. If it's at 2.5, maybe not. All right. That's better. That's better fantasy right there on the screen. I'm going to pop over to PrizePicks. What's going, 6 Char? Paris says Bradley over pitcher fantasy score and then Kirby over K's. And is this on PrizePicks? Uh-oh, I think my internet has hit a snag. Everybody, bear with me here. All right, there we go. All right, we got PrizePicks pulled up. Don't laugh at my account, man. After some withdrawals and honestly just some losses, I am down to less than $20 in my PrizePicks account. Truth be told, I have not had to make a deposit in over 7 months. So I'm clinging on to this $18. I got 3 slips in play right now. I'm clinging on to this $18. If I have to put more money on it, I will. I hate the thought of having to deposit more money. It's just been that rough of a month, but I have no shame, man. I'm fully transparent here. I'm not going to put $1,000 into my account just for a stream and then take it right back out. So I'm looking to turn that 18 into $180. That's the goal. And then I don't have to deposit anymore. But if I have to make a deposit, it won't be the first time. All right. Let's see. Gunnar Henderson home run today. He's way overdue. He had a good game yesterday, man. He had, 9 fantasy points yesterday? We talked about him a little bit. All right, let's take a look at a few different plays over on PrizePicks. We're going to start off with George Kirby over his strikeouts today. I believe that's what the question was. Over 5.5. Taj Bradley over his fantasy score. We just saw the over Taj Bradley strikeouts on BETR. I think it was set to 6.5. If they like the over on his strikeouts at 6.5, that's 7 strikeouts at the minimum. So that's 21 fantasy points on strikeouts alone. We are not even doing any research right now on this guy, but if we just wanted to get a pretty high level look at his pitching outs over his last 5 games, he's averaging 19. Out of those 5 games, the lowest number he's had is 17. Did they just take his pitching outs off the board? No, they're right here. So what we're really trying to figure out is a combined total here. So 17 pitching outs plus 21 points coming from strikeouts. That's 38 fantasy points. Against the Miami Marlins, if he can give up 3 or fewer runs, let's say he gives up 3 earned runs at 38 fantasy points, that puts him at 29. And then he would get the quality start bonus. There's your 20, there's your 33. If he qualified for the win, there's your 40. If he gives up 2 or fewer, I think he smashes this fantasy score. It's really just going to depend on if he can limit that run production. So Let's go with his strikeouts. Let's take the pitching outs away. And that is we'll kick off our research on props.cash with those two plays. Who else? Gunnar Henderson over home run. We can take a look at his home run odds. I don't know if he has a home run prop today. He does not. They keep forgetting to put that one up. I thought he was in play last game because they didn't have it up. Usually when they keep a play off the board, it's because it has a good shot at hitting. They don't want to lose money on it. And it being a demon play means you get more money if it hits. So the next best thing here, if we can't take his home run, would be his RBI. Because he'll obviously count as an RBI. Outside of that, fantasy score is in play, but it's not a payout boost. If you're going for a demon play and you can't play his home run, I think the over on his RBI is your next best option. If you're just looking for a solid play for Gunnar Henderson, you could take a look at his hitter fantasy score. All right, let's go over to props.cash. Let's start looking at some of these plays here. And we'll start over in Miami and Tampa game. We'll take a look at this Taj Bradley prop. We're going to look at his fantasy score first. Right now on 3 books, his strikeout prop of 6.5 is getting positive momentum, except for Pinnacle. Pinnacle does not like the over. FanDuel likes the over. Caesars likes the over. DraftKings loves the over with absolutely 0 juice to the under, or basically 0 juice to the under. So let's figure this out. Taj Bradley versus this Miami team, no history. So that usually sides really well with the pitcher. Pitcher has that advantage. If he's seeing batters for the first time, they're seeing him for the first time. Usually give that advantage to the pitcher. They have yet to see his stuff in person, so pitcher can take advantage of that. This team versus right-handed pitching on the season, you only have 3 bats in here with an above 250 batting average. You got some very high strikeout totals all throughout the lineup. Bride and Edwards are your only 2 bats that do not have a 19 or more strikeout rate versus righties. Over his last 5 games, averaging 7. Over his last 10, he's averaging 7. This game is at home. So at home, Taj Gibson, I almost called him Taj Gibson. Taj Bradley is averaging 8 strikeouts over his last 10 games and 9 over his last 5. So bigger output at home versus on the road. He's only averaging 5 strikeouts over his last 5 on the road. Compare that to 9 at home. So you're getting a home discount here on his strikeouts, I guess you can say. Now, if he goes out there and gets you 8 strikeouts, he's averaging 9. Let's say he gets you 8 strikeouts against the team. That's 23%. Striking out at a 23% rate. So righties, 8 strikeouts could be in play. His pitching outs, he goes out there and gets you, I think 17 was the low. So 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 17 is 41. If Taj Bradley can keep the earned runs down and give up just 2, that's 38. That's 36 fantasy points. 36 plus the quality start bonus is 40. And then if he gets the win, that's more. As long as he gets you more than 39.5, that's what you need. So 40 gets it done. If he has one of these games where he gives up 1 or fewer, then he won't even need the quality start bonus to go over fantasy score. He'll get it done on pitching outs and strikeouts alone. So yeah, that one's in play versus a Miami team that hasn't seen him yet. Gunnar Henderson home run prop. We can take a look at that one and see what that looks like. If you want to play that one, you're going to have to find it on another pick'em site or a book. PrizePicks is not listing his home run demon at all. He is due 1 out of his last 10 games, 16 home runs on the year. 1 home run over his last 10, 1 home run over his last 15. And then over his last 30 games, 7 out of 30 games. So percentages are really, really low. Numbers against the Toronto Blue Jays, going back to last season, just 1 home run. Actually, whatever I just said, disregard, because I had the home splits on. Let's remove it. 3 home runs against Toronto. There you go. But over his last 5, 0. And over his last 10, 0. So even worse. It's even worse when you unfilter this. Plus 400 odds to go over, minus 700 for the under. Numbers against Paolo Espino: 1 at bat, 1 double, and 1 RBI. So like I said, his fantasy score is in play. The double plus the RBI gets you 7. Projected for 2 hits, runs, and RBIs. There's your run. There's your hit. So that's 5. Not a big sample size against this pitcher. So if you want to go with the over on his home run, you're going to have to find it somewhere else. Otherwise, you can play the over on his RBI. If you feel he hits a home run, he obviously scores he obviously will count as an RBI if that happens. So you'll get the over on that one. If you just want to take it a little more safe, you can go with the over on his fantasy score. Maybe his total bases. Those are available on PrizePicks. The odds on his total bases are okay. I don't think anybody's rushing out to play the over on this one. The odds are just kind of meh. What's up, Travis? Good morning, man. All right. So that's Gunnar Henderson. I think if we wanted to go a conservative approach, we can go over on total bases. What about George Kirby strikeouts versus the Sox today? 5.5 is his line on PrizePicks. Let's take a look at this one. 4 straight games of 6+. 5 out of his last 6 games, he's gotten you 6 or more. I mean, his last 10 games look really good. 70% hit rate, 80 in his last 5. Projected for 6 strikeouts today. Odds on this one are favoring the under for the most part. You're getting a lot of even splits here. Like FanDuel almost has this even. Fanatics does. Caesars likes the under. BetMGM outright likes the under. They don't like this at all for the over. And then Pinnacle likes the under at minus 128. Numbers against this Red Sox team. Man, Jarren Duran has hit him well. Does have a high strikeout rate of 22, but his batting average is strong. O'Neal, 1 for 3 against him. Devers, man, 5 for 5 against this guy. And you got some bats in here that can touch him up. On the year, they're hitting righties. Oh, right. 23% strikeout rate versus righties on the season. So strikeouts are there. Kirby needs 6. Kirby's averaging roughly 1 strikeout per inning. projected to go based off those odds. 6 innings is in play. So that's literally 1 strikeout per inning. That equals 6. Yeah, nothing like crazy good here in terms of value, but you can make a case for it. Put it in a slip. All right, so our 3 plays that we've researched on props.cash so far: Kirby, Bradley, Henderson. Out of actually, I got the wrong play up there for Taj Bradley. You could go over on Taj Bradley's strikeouts at 6.5, but the original question was the over on fantasy score. So it's really up to you if you want to roll with his strikeouts. He's not getting the over on his fantasy score if he doesn't get the over on strikeouts. That's a fact. So you can build out a couple different slips and leverage his props. The fact that this is a demon is good for his fantasy score because 17.5, he's going to get you 18. He's going to get you 18 outs. That's such a high percentage to hit that their PrizePicks is going to reduce your payout. So 18, 7, 21 plus 18 is 39. That's why his fantasy score is 39. That's a very simple way to figure that out. What you got to figure out now is how many runs he's going to give up and what bonuses he's going to qualify for. If he can keep the runs low, that's 4 points for the quality start bonus. All right. So for the sake of this, because the original question was fantasy score, we'll take the strikeouts out. Let's go over to PrizePicks. And if you want to build this slip out with those 3 plays that we have on the board, let's see if we can find 2 to 3 more plays that make sense. And then you can play those plays on PrizePicks. So now we're starting to get some UFC plays. UFC fight card is on Saturday. This fight between Nurmagomedov and Sandhagen starts at 2 p.m. You got the over Nurmagomedov 3.5 takedowns. DraftKings has it set to 4.5. Parlay Play has it set to 4.5. PrizePicks is giving it to you at 3.5. So value is there. We got this Framber under pitcher fantasy score. We can look at that one. Adley Rutschman under 1.5 total bases. Just 1 data point. We can find better than that. I'm going to stay away from Ohtani for now. And Xavier Edwards under his fantasy score. The Xavier Edwards under fantasy score also is a good sign for the over Taj Bradley fantasy score. It's 1 less batter projected to go over, which means maybe he strikes out, maybe he doesn't, but he's not putting up runs, which helps Bradley get the over. So it all correlates. You can't put them in the same slip, but you can build out around them. I want to look at this Framber under 40 fantasy score. Maybe we can put that in a slip if you want to add that to the 3 that we have on the board. If you already have plays that you like, maybe these plays that we're going over will help you complete a slip, or maybe you want to build out a second slip with the plays we're talking about here. But for Framber, 6.5 strikeouts, 150 to go over. Over his last 3 games, he's got two 10 strikeout games in there. I mentioned I feel like he's struggling a little bit on the year. He's only gone over 7 strikeouts in 5 out of 18 starts. his earned runs have been awful. This just doesn't look like World Series Framber Valdez to me. I don't know, again, if he's hurt, if he's tipping pitches, he's doing something that is not helping him out. But today he's projected to go over this line of 1.5 earned runs. That feels like 2. He is projected to give up closer to 3, but let's say he gives up 2, you're already down -6 points. If Framber Valdez does indeed strike out 7 batters, that's 21. 21 -6 is 15. And if Framber goes roughly 15 plus 18 is 33. He will get the quality start bonus. That's 37. And unless Framber Valdez gets the win, he's not going over this based off earned runs allowed, strikeouts, and pitching outs. Quality start bonus already baked in. He's sitting there at 37. So with the win bonus, he gets to 43. If he gets the win bonus, it's over. I'm sure he'll go over it, especially if he's going to give you 7 strikeouts. In the event he gives you 10 strikeouts, like fucking Dylan Cease did that one game, went the whole game and struck out 11, there's really nothing you can do about that. But if we're trying to build it out based off whatever information we have, 40 feels kind of high. I wouldn't be surprised if this one got bumped down to 39.5. While it's at 40, you're getting a really good discrepancy when you focus on these 2 books. If you don't want to play the Framber Valdez play, that's fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It's not my picks. I'm just trying to show value where we can find it. Oh, this Nurmagomedov is not even on PrizePicks. So they took it off the board already. Yeah, so that Nurmagomedov was on the board. I guess it was that good of a play that they took it off the board. So can't play that one. Yeah, not a lot of value on PrizePicks today. Yeah, Kirby over K's. That's what we have in this slip. So 5.5 over. Gunnar Henderson over total bases. If you want to go demon on Gunnar Henderson, you can look to take the over on his RBI, or you can take the over on his fantasy score. Taj Bradley over fantasy score. You can also go over on his strikeouts. And then Framber under his fantasy score. So those are the 4 that we have up right now. We do just need one more play to complete a 5-pick. So I'm going to open up this sports betting tab. And check out if any value is available on PrizePicks. What? Okay, so we have a tennis prop. We have a tennis live prop under 9.5 first set total games for this Donna Vicic, Marta Kostyuk. That's the only PrizePicks play that we have available on the sports betting app. It's not often that we get a PrizePicks play, so when we do, I always like to take them. So Donna Vicic. If you aren't aware of the tennis live prop, that's where you can find the first sets. It's the only one available, so not easy or not hard to miss. And we're going to go under on her 9.5. So that's about as plus EV as we can get with this lineup, considering the lack of value that's on PrizePicks right now. So you have Kirby over strikeouts, you have Henderson over total bases, you have Bradley over pitcher fantasy score, you have Valdez under pitcher fantasy score, and then you have Donna Vicic under 9.5 first set total games. That's a 5 pick right there. All right. Let's build out a slip on the underdog before we get out of here. Appreciate y'all being here. Hit the like button on your way in or on your way out. But also make sure notifications are turned on so you don't miss out when I do go live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Yesterday, YouTube short, 2-1 with our plays with Aaron Judge getting us 15 fantasy points. The problem with that is I took the under 10 fantasy points for Aaron Judge. Other than that, we went over on JP Sears strikeouts and we went under Hunter Brown pitcher fantasy score. So 2-1 with those afternoon value plays. If you want those plays, make sure your notification bell is turned on. I typically post that short in the afternoon. It's really just based on the value. As soon as the value opens up in the afternoon, I try to get that short out. So there's not a set time. But if you have your notification bell turned on, it doesn't matter what time I post it, you won't miss it. If you're able to put those plays in a slip, it's only going to help you build out a better slip. But if you want deeper dives in the plays, that's what you'll find here on a live stream. So just spending more time on the plays, building a slip, kind of analyzing everything. The YouTube short is super high level. This pick on this site, this pick on this site, this pick on this site. Have a good day. That's it. That's it. It is backed up by the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer, so it is supported, but there is no breakdown with those. All right, so here we are over on Underdog. Value is up on the board. It's changing. Some of these plays were not available to us when we last looked, like this Nolan Arenado under 2 hits, runs, and RBIs. A lot of these esports plays have been on the board for a while now. They're not new. Under William Contreras, 2 hits, runs, and RBIs. Who is pitching for Texas? You got 2 right off the bat. You got 2 Cardinal bats projected to go under their hits, runs, and RBIs. Andrew Heaney is on the mound for Texas today. He's not projected to go over strikeouts. -115 to go under 4.5. He's barely projected to go over his pitching outs at 16.5, so 17 pitching outs. His earned runs, he's projected to go over 2.5 earned runs at -142. I'm not really sure why these 2 bats in the Cardinals lineup are projected to go under. It's not saying they're going to get 0, but it's basically saying they're not going to get 3. So it's just unusual when you have unders on bats. You typically will have better props and odds for the pitcher on the other side, but it's not happening like that today. Cody Bellinger. So let's start with this Cody Bellinger fantasy score at 6. We can look into that on props.cash. We have this Carlick Jones over 29.5 PRA. That's Olympic basketball, South Sudan versus USA. That's at 2 p.m. Krasnell over first 2 map headshots, 14.5. ICM and Ale. So Underdog will not let you correlate your slips. So you need to pick one of these two. You cannot put these in the same slip and get a full payout. In fact, I don't think it'll even let you submit the slip. And if you try to put 2 players from the same game, one on each team, it'll reduce your payout, I think, to 21x. It's not worth it. Just pick a different person. But you'll have to choose one of these two. The same exact line, same exact prop for the first 2 map kills. You're getting good value on these two. We got George Springer over 7 hitter fantasy score. We could take a quick look at that one on props.cash to see if that one looks good. Bogdan Bogdanovic. This one was not a green square earlier today. It is gaining some momentum. Over 17 points. This isn't the Atlanta Hawks. He's not the fifth option on this team. He's actually one of the go-tos on this Serbia team. So there ain't no fucking Trae Young here today. So Bogdan over 17 points. This one is in play. If you want to take a look at the over here, every single one of these books, except for HOTSTREAK, where you can alternate the lines. So this isn't even the set line. This is a line that you can create on your own. Every other book has it at 17.5. You're getting it for 17 for the over. So we can look at that one as well. How many is that? 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need one more for a 6 pick. I haven't seen too many Anthony Davis props. I'm intrigued by this one because we don't really see a lot of, I've seen a lot of LeBron James props. I haven't seen too many Anthony Davis props. Under 19.5 points and rebounds. You also have this Nikola Jokic over 37.5 PRA. One that I do like a little bit, I don't know if we can find it on Underdog. It was LeBron James over assists, just because I think Kevin Durant's starting in this lineup today. He did not start last game. I don't know if he played last game, but I think I think they're inserting him into the starting lineup, and I think Book is going to the bench. But that just adds one more scorer in your 5, and I think that opens up things for LeBron James assist. So you might want to look at LeBron James assists where you can find them at 5.5, 6 maybe, but 5.5. And you can find them at 5.5. That's a very good play. So we got 5 plays that we like over on Underdog. I want to take a look at these hitter fantasy scores for Bellinger and Springer. I forgot who Cody Bellinger plays for Chicago. All right, so we're looking at hitter fantasy score. We'll take a look at the projections first. Projected for 1.85 hits, runs, RBIs. So there's a single, there's a run, there's your 5 points. Cody Bellinger's fantasy score is at 6.5, I think. It's at 6 on the dot. So A run and a single gets you 5. He needs one more to push. He needs 2 more to go over. He's coming off a 5 hits, runs, and RBI game. He has 9 in his last 5. He's averaging 2.3 in his last 10. Head-to-head versus the Cincinnati Reds, he's averaging 3. This matchup today versus Lodolo, he has 2 singles and an RBI. That gets it done. If he gets 2 singles and an RBI today, that's 7. That's 8 fantasy points. So that's easy if it goes down like that. Numbers against left-handed pitching on the season. Bellinger hits this lefty-lefty matchup is unique. You typically don't see left-handed batters hit left-handed pitchers well. They usually struggle. But this matchup, I mean, Bellinger is always hit lefties well. So better average, not as much power versus lefties, but also fewer plate appearances. But he hits. He gets on base. He scores you points. Lodolo versus lefties, giving up a 258 batting average, has yet to give up a home run. We don't really care about all that. We just need Bellinger to score points for us. So 6 is a pretty low number. Take the over on that one on Underdog. And then we'll take a look at George Springer's hitter fantasy score. George Springer is set to 7. And I just saw one. We can talk about this one. No, we won't talk about that one. All right. George Springer, 7 hitter fantasy score. All right. So first, let's look at his projections. He's projected for an RBI and a run. There's 4 points. 0.95 total bases, which is basically a single. So there's your 7. That's a push. In his last 5 games, he's gone over this in 2 games, but in those 2 games, he has 4 hits, runs, and RBIs. In his last 10, that 9 hits, runs, and RBI game really increases that average, but averaging 2.2. Numbers against Baltimore, pretty strong, 2.2. Numbers today against this in this matchup versus Rodriguez, very good matchup for him based off his history here. 11 plate appearances, 3 singles, 1 homer, and 3 RBIs. He hits Grayson Rodriguez really well. I don't know if he's leading off today, but he should get 4, 5 at-bats. He should get plenty of opportunity to get this done. And then his numbers against righties in general, batting 238. Very low strikeout rate, decent walk rate. Rodriguez versus right-handed bats, giving up a 282 average, 9 homers. It's a lot of power he's giving up to righties. So this matchup looks pretty strong for George Springer. If you want to roll with the over on this fantasy score, you got a lot of information that looks good. Got a lot of information that looks good. JR said, who's taking a hit today for Team USA because we know for a fact Tatum's playing? In the starting lineup, I read that they were taking Devin Booker out for Durant. Your starting lineup would be LeBron, Drew, Durant, Tatum. Is Tatum star? I don't know. I don't know the full starting lineup, but again, adding Durant to the starting lineup puts another scorer on the floor with LeBron James, and so I think LeBron James' assists look good. Yeah, if Springer's leading off, then he's gonna get 5 at bats. This is also a road game for the Blue Jays. So typically when you're on the road, you get that one last at bat because you get the full 9 innings, right? If you're the away team, right? If you're the home team, you close it out top of the 9th, you know, or they'll have that backwards. If you're the home team, Yeah, if you're the home team, you get that. I had a reverse. Either way, either way. Springer's getting you 4, 5 at bats today. 6 is crazy. But 4 at the least. I think 5 at the most. Yeah. But because he's batting at the top of the order, I think 5's in play. I think 5's a real possibility. All right. So on underdog, you got the over Cody Bellinger fantasy score. You got the over Carlick Jones 29 and a half PRA. I saw this Christopher Sanchez under 28 fantasy, but it's only one data point. I'll hold off on it for now. Over 29 and a half PRA for Jones. Krasnow over first 2 map headshots at 14 and a half. You got Springer over 7 fantasy points. We just saw that one on props.cash. We just broke it down. Bogdanovich over 17 points. So that is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's only 5? I thought we had 6. You got Jordan Westberg and Ryan O'Hearn both over their hits, runs, and RBIs. If you like the over on Gunnar Henderson's fantasy score, you got to confirm batting order for that game. But there's some correlation opportunity here. We like the over Gunnar Henderson on PrizePicks. So then we would look at the batting, an example of a batting order for Baltimore. Gunnar Henderson's batting 3rd. You got O'Hearn batting 4th, and you have Westberg batting 7th. Probably the best chance for correlation here is Ryan O'Hearn. These two are batting within the top 4. So the idea here would be if Henderson can get on base, O'Hearn can drive him home with an RBI double or something like that. A better scenario would be if Cowser or Santander gets on, Gunnar Henderson can drive them home. He starts the game off with an RBI single, RBI double, something like that. And then O'Hearn can drive him home. And at that point, you would probably be over fantasy score for Gunnar Henderson. And then O'Hearn gets on base. And it kind of just like dominoes like that. So if you wanted to add O'Hearn to this 5 pick on underdog, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 data points that have this all at 2.5. It's going to bring down our chance to hit percentage, but it's going to increase our total EV. Austin Hayes, he used to play for Baltimore. Okay, so this is a potential 6 pick on underdog. You got Bellinger over fantasy score, Jones over PRA, Krasnow over first 2 map headshots, Springer over. We are running all overs in this slip. Wow. Damn. Booker has a point prop of 8.5 points. Damn. I wish we could get a confirmation on the starting lineup. Hayes has no props on PrizePicks. Yeah, PrizePicks is shiesty sometimes. That's why you got to play on different sites. You used to be able to correlate your PrizePicks slips like you did your DFS. Like when you could stack a team, you stack a team and you play DFS. And you used to be able to create good correlation on PrizePicks, and then they just started making sure you couldn't do that. So now the next best way to correlate is through multiple sites, because if you like the over a pitcher fantasy score in a different slip on a different site, you could take the unders on some of these bats, and that's how you can correlate the two. But pick'em sites are making it really hard to do it all in one place. That's actually not that bad of a slip, to be honest with you. I think that's a pretty fun slip. So we have some, all right, so we have some promos over on Underdog. We can actually replace one of these plays, or you can just build out a new slip. So it's LeBron James over 12.5 points. It's Steph Curry over 8.5 points. Kevin Durant over 11.5 points. Davis over 7.5 points. Durant's taco yesterday on PrizePicks was 10.5. Underdog is giving it to you today at 11.5. I don't know if these are for everybody. Sometimes PrizePicks will just release promos to certain players. I don't know what goes into choosing who gets what promo. But I'll show you what I'm seeing on my page. You got Curry over points, James over, you have Durant and Anthony Davis. So those are the promos, the props that I see right now. I mean, out of all those, I like LeBron James 12.5 the best. We saw his I don't know where we saw his I don't know where I saw his PRA line, if it was on Underdog or PrizePicks, but there was an over on his PRA. 12.5 points would really help that out. 13 points would really help that out. So I'm going to have to build out a slip using that promo, and I'll throw that in the Discord. But right before we dip out, let me go ahead and build out this Underdog slip that we just created using this OddsJam optimizer. George Springer. So what I'll do is I'll submit, I'm building it out on my phone. It's just much faster if I do it on my phone. Then I'll share the link in the chat. Bogdan. And then last play is O'Hearn. Ryan O'Hearn over hits, runs, and RBIs. All right. Appreciate y'all being here. 2 slips we built out on the stream. 1 Underdog and 1 on PrizePicks. Put the link to the PrizePicks slip in the chat. And now I'm getting ready to add the Underdog the underdog link in the chat once I can copy it. Well, I don't know if this is going to work because always something going on, man. All right. Well, I'm going to try to buy a few more minutes here to see if I can just refresh my notes. So on my phone, it's saving just fine. So I'm trying to save it to my notes on my phone, pull the notes up on my laptop, and just copy the link. If you guys know of an easier way to do that shit, let me know. All right. I don't know what to do. We build out a slip. Yeah, if you want to start building it on your own, here are the plays. Bellinger over, Jones over, Krasnow over, Springer over, Bogdan over, and Ryan O'Hearn over. There we go. All right. Are you talking about Cabrian Hayes, Mark? You said Cabrian Hayes has no props on PrizePicks. He's on underdog. Yeah, what you're seeing on the screen is underdog. Cabrian Hayes under his hits, runs, and RBIs, I think it was. All right, so we have two slips in, one on PrizePicks, one on underdog. We haven't even we looked at BETR earlier this morning at the beginning of the stream, but there just wasn't a whole lot to there wasn't a whole lot available in terms of building out a 5-pick slip. So I'm not going to build out a slip on BETR right now. Any questions? I haven't taken a question in a few minutes here. We did look up Kirby. We did look up Taj Bradley earlier. We did look up Gunnar Henderson. If you have any player props that you want to look up, throw them in the chat before we get out of here. We looked up Framber. Did we look up Framber's fantasy score? Did we dig into that one? We did. We did, and we came up with 37 with the quality start bonus. This Shohei Ohtani's been up here forever. It's been up here for at least 5 hours. It hasn't budged. I'm sure at some point it'll bump down. Then everybody will definitely take the over on this one. Brady Singer under his pitcher fantasy score. Just one data point. We didn't look up Vlad, but we did look up George Springer. Grayson Rodriguez over pitcher fantasy score. His numbers today versus Toronto. We love Springer's numbers versus Rodriguez. Springer has hit Rodriguez really well, which is why we like the over on his fantasy score. It doesn't look like anything new is available to us on PrizePicks. So unless we got some player prop questions in the chat, we may be ready to get out of here. If you're just joining the stream, we put the link to this slip in the chat, but it's still available. Kirby over, Henderson over, Bradley over, Valdez under, and then Vikic under first set total games. Remember, you still have, if you are playing on underdog, you have those promos to look at. LeBron, Curry, Davis, and Durant are your point promos on underdog. Choose one of those. I think they give you a $10 max on those plays. Booker under 8.5 points. Olympic basketball is weird. And no, it's not like your typical rotations, during the regular season. It's like an all-star game type of environment, but obviously with way more incentive to win. So I don't really know about the Booker point prop, especially if they're making changes to the starting lineup. I do know that Embiid struggles with this version of basketball. He struggles. His points are low. I don't know what his he doesn't even have a PRA, because you would just take the under on it. His struggles are well documented in the Olympics in this style of play. So 11 does seem really low. 5.5 seems really low. I mean, these are like first quarter points and rebounds for him in the regular season. But if you can find full lines on him, PRA on other pick'em sites, it might be worth the under on those. On underdog, on the OddsJam optimizer, a few new plays are on the board. If you want to build out multiple slips, here are a few new plays you can use. Mikael Garcia over hitter fantasy, Renfroe over 2 hits, runs, and RBIs. You got to play one or the other. You can't play them both in the same lineup. So those are new. Those might be the only 2 new plays. The optimizer, the fantasy optimizer here does refresh. If you sit around waiting for new plays to come on, you'll miss them. So I make it a habit to refresh manually every 5-10 minutes if I'm at my laptop. What you saw 5-10 minutes ago is not what you're going to see 5-10 minutes later. It's just the nature of player props. Things move really, really fast. So you got to be on point. All right. I think it's going to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, any ladies on the stream? Is it all gentlemen? I think it's going to do it, gentlemen. Appreciate y'all showing up. Appreciate y'all being here for this live stream. We're going to go ahead and end it today. Went a little over an hour. We built out 2 slips on PrizePicks and Underdog, one on PrizePicks, one on Underdog. We went through a ton of value. We looked at a bunch of different plays, so tons of information given out in the live stream to help you build out a slip, maybe a couple of different slips. Don't forget about the Underdog promos. I don't know if they're available to everybody, but if you have them in your lobby, LeBron James, Curry, Davis, and Durant all have pretty big drop in point. So my favorite out of those 4 is LeBron. I'll be looking to make a slip with that one and then putting that in Discord. But once again, thank you for being here. Hit that sub button. Appreciate the support. Hit the like button as well. Make sure that bell icon is turned on so you don't miss this afternoon's YouTube short. We'll go over 3 really quick value plays available to you. Hopefully you can use those to make some profit today. I will be back tomorrow, Thursday, August 1st. New day, new month, new profit, new results. I hope so. Yeah, this week is flying by. This week is flying by. All right. Appreciate y'all being here. Hope all your player props treat you well. Respect the damn coin. I hope you make some money. And we'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow's live stream. Until tomorrow's live stream, have a great day. Chavez is out.